Okay, what's happening? What's
How we feeling?
going on, people? It's been a minute since we've been live on this channel, but we are here still, constantly pumping off content for you each week.
That's
But
right.
not live streaming as much because it's that time of the year where redraft is kind of taken over. What's up, Styles? He says, happy Sunday/Monday. Y'all, perfect timing with my home Dynasty startup coming up. Love that. What up, what
amazing.
up?
Amazing.
What's up, Big Breakfast? Krim says, is there a way to join? Yes, there is. We will tell you in a second. How soon till draft actually starts? We'll get there, guys. Come on. Yeah, relax. Let's have a good time, okay? All right, let's hang out. Let's talk a little bit. Tell me how your life is. Dynasty Kings are back, MP says. Michael says, how do you join a mock? All right, why don't we go ahead and answer those questions for people who want to know how to get into today's mock draft. Go ahead.
Yeah, guys, if you want to join our mock draft here, all you have to do is join our Discord. Link in the description. Link is already in the chat. Click on that link. Then it will send you, say join Discord. You want to click on that. Then go to Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs to the left of your screen. Go to content releases, and that's exactly where I'll be posting a link for our redraft Dynasty, whether it's in the future or right now. Nothing's going to change, okay? So once again, join our Discord, link in the description, Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs, content releases, and that's exactly where I'll be sending the link to this mock draft. Let me just join the mock draft first, and then I will send that link out here in a second. Make sure you join as well.
Yeah.
You didn't join?
Yeah.
I'll take 4 here. All right, I'll send that link here in 3, 2, there you go. That link is out.
What's up, Brandon? Welcome in. What's up, boys? Y'all doing better than Kendra's knees? Yeah, we'll have to follow that injury. It's definitely unfortunate, and it doesn't seem to be serious, but if it is, definitely helps Kamara a lot. Need to draft now. What's up, Skyler? Welcome in. Trey Lance with the special interception touchdown. Discord gang. Y'all still filling up redraft leagues? Those are full. Yeah, those are full now, unfortunately. But yeah, we were filling them up for a minute. But hey, guys, do us a favor. If you're just joining us, do us a favor. Go ahead and hit a like on the stream. We haven't been streaming as much on the channel just because, again, we're trying to focus on the redraft side of things. And if you don't know, we do have a redraft channel where we are pumping off live streams. Like, if you still want to hang out with us, we're live streaming almost every weekday. Ooh, nice. New banner on the redraft channel. But go ahead and subscribe over there if you want to hang out with us more while it's getting towards the in-season part of the year. But we are full, so this is a PPR non-tight end premium superflex mock draft for Dynasty Startup. Afterwards, we will be grading one of our Flock Fantasy members' Dynasty team grade, or Dynasty teams. We'll be giving him a grade, talking about some things that he can improve on. If you want your team reviewed, then you guys probably know this by now, but use our code LAND when signing up to the Flock Fantasy website. That's actually the old one, my bad. Here we go. And there's a little QR code there if you want to sign up. Okay, let's go ahead and get this thing going. 30 seconds on the clock, gang. 30 seconds on the clock.
30 seconds. Here we go. Something special's happening. I'm actually rewatching this Chiefs Saints one right now. The preseason game. I wanted to see who's going to be on the field and stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that later. Happened so early for me.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys use third down reversal? I mean, we've pretty consistently said this, but if you want to use it, use it. That's how simple it is. You know, there are leagues where we use it. We typically, as commissioners, let the league vote. If they want to use it, we do. So we don't have anything against it. You know. Okay, Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Burrow, Herbert, Lamar Jackson, all off the board. Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields are sitting there. And my mind has been so, just honestly, like, not a better way to say it, balls deep into redraft. I need to look at my Dynasty rankings. It's been a minute. But yeah, we will take Trevor Lawrence here at the 1-7. I'm liking that. Kamara looked good today. Yes, he did. What's up, Drusiv? Thank you so much for being a YouTube member for 15 months.
Huge love, Drew, man.
That is awesome. Thank you for the love, man. Justin
Yeah,
Fields, good preseason yesterday. A lot of people on Twitter didn't like it, but
a lot of
what
people
can
on
you
Twitter
do?
did not like it. I did
The
see
people
that.
who, the thing is, Badaki, the people who have been out on him already and they don't like him, just any reason to dislike him, they'll exploit it, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard not to. It's kind of hard not to. I guess like the argument is difficult right now still. You know, like
Yeah.
I think it's hard for the people that don't like Justin Fields. It's like, damn, like your argument is not going in the right direction right now. But I think that can be said for literally anyone. But at the same time, it is preseason. But it's good to see him in a rhythm. It's good to see that offense being explosive, whether it's against second stringers or first stringers. It's good to see that they have chemistry. I think that's what's really exciting when you think of that offense, because last year it felt terrible.
Yeah.
You know, like it didn't feel in sync whatsoever. Not many explosive plays. But,
Yeah. I think
something that a
lot of people are undervaluing is what his legs will mean for an offense. Like, you can have little dinky dump off plays when, your legs open up so much of the field for you. Geez, this is a weird place to be. My mind is so in redraft. This is tough. I want to see how the board's going to fall to me. So let's grab a wide receiver here. We'll go with Jalen Waddle here. I just want to see how this looks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fun to see some undrafted free agent running backs. Yep, that's true. What's up, Albert? Welcome in. Insane says, how do y'all even watch NFL if the games start at like 3 a.m. on a Monday in Australia? That's exactly how we watch it. We wake up at a 3 a.m. on a Monday, and then we
every single game.
Watch them all. And then we make content for all of the games as well. It's the busiest day. It's bad for your health, but you do it because you love the game.
Because you love the game, exactly. So,
yeah.
It happens. It has to happen.
Krim says, I have 424 first. No one else in the league wants to trade me their 24 first. How should I go about getting more? Be patient. I mean, you can't just force it or end up making bad deals. You just have to be patient. At the end of the day, if people aren't willing to trade with you, and you're persistent on trading with that league, you're probably going to end up forcing a deal and losing out on value. Byronic, thank you. It's good to be back. So, yeah, good to be back. You went Devonta Smith there. So you went Joe Burrow, Devonta Smith to start. Love it.
Could have had the stack, but it's okay.
Yeah, I was thinking that actually, just then.
Yeah, I could have had the stack, but I mean, if I'm going with my ranking, Smith is higher.
Sure.
Just feel a lot more confident.
Man,
both of those guys are great, but
Yeah.
Bryce Young at the 211 there as well.
Bryce Young at the 211, yeah, pretty good value, absolutely. I'm trying something in this mock draft, so I'll hold my comments for later, but just trying to see how this board's gonna fall. It's not called weak. Shout out to the coffee dog. I'm willing to make the bad trade as well, and they won't do it. Yeah, it's probably not the answer you want to hear, but just stop sending offers for a while. If people aren't wanting to trade with you, you just not much you can do about that. Respect the grind. Nothing better than recovering from a hangover by watching Red Zone. 2 a.m. to milk your kangaroo. Thoughts on Juwan Johnson? I mean, I'll just say this overall. I mean, a lot of people will be with us over on the Redraft channel as we're streaming most days. But I've pretty consistently, interesting start. I've pretty consistently said that I think the best fantasy players typically don't watch preseason. And I think I'm going to stand by that. All week, I've seen overreactions all throughout my Twitter feed. Just consistent overreactions, in my personal opinion. And so I'm just going to stick to my opinion, which is that for the most part, preseason does not really matter. I don't know if Badake, if you have a different opinion on that, but overall, as far as Jawan Johnson goes, or any of these role players, or a rookie that's underperforming, or had a couple drops like Quentin or Jameson, who's, you know, getting played deep into, you know, the second quarter, things like that. Like, there's typically always context behind it. The way a player performs is different because typically there's not always starters on the field. So I don't really focus on preseason too much. I feel like the people who overanalyze it, like I saw someone who had a tweet, and like, respect to them for grinding, but they looked at every rookie running back and their snaps versus the starters and stuff. And I'm just like, preseason week 1, are you really taking actionable steps away from this information? So the quarterback that I would have drafted at the 2-6, Badake, a lot of people know this. I think he's the easily the best buy in Dynasty right now at the quarterback position. Kyler Murray, he falls to me at the 3-7, so that worked out beautifully. But yeah, that's my opinion on the preseason. I just think people way overanalyze it every single year. So we see it. It's like every year. It's a tradition, overanalyzing preseason. But maybe you have a different opinion.
No, I mean, I think the overanalyzing is true. I think you can take things away from preseason without a doubt. I think a lot of people do make their own name in preseason. We've seen it in the past. You know, we've seen people really take the next step in preseason sometimes to make that 53-man roster. Do they come out and be fantasy gods? But no, I guess it's more in real life situations that helps themselves. Now, I would say in the fantasy perspective, there are some that really prove themselves and make themselves fantasy relevant. The only one I can think of, to be honest, because I've seen it with, at least for the Giants, has been Victor Cruz, right? I can't think of another one. Maybe you can. That took off in the preseason, became the starter.
I can think of a lot of overreactions, but
yeah, exactly. So like somebody that has actually performed in preseason, went crazy, and then became fantasy relevant in some way somehow, was Victor Cruz. Now I can't think of anyone else most recent in probably the past 5 years, but there's definitely people that have paved the way for themselves.
Yeah.
In many different ways. So.
Sure.
I just think that we just have to take it with a grain of salt, but also take mental note. Like, for example, I think the biggest one right now is Tank Dell. He is rising up fantasy boards right now, especially on Underdog.
Yeah.
Don't go too crazy, but still take note of what's happening.
Sure. Yeah, and you know, most of that production, if I'm not mistaken, came without CJ Stroud. And obviously not versus starters. So, I mean, I like Tank Dell. I just drafted him in our home Dynasty rookie draft, you know, a couple days ago. So I'm with you, but at the same time, I'm like, how actionable is that? You know, like, is that really gonna make a difference come season? Do I have drastically different expectations for him? You know, those are the kind of questions that I ask myself. What's the context of what he did? All right, I'll probably grab Drake London here, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's...
No, I agree. Like I said, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Take note.
Yeah.
But don't overreact. You know, like, definitely wait until the right price for you. If you think he is, I mean, I saw it on Twitter that he rose like 20 spots on ADP on Underdog right now. I'm pretty sure he's getting drafted maybe in the 12th round. I honestly really don't know. I haven't done Underdog in a couple days. Yeah. But hypothetically, if he's going there, that's just way too much. It's way too high, in my opinion. There's maybe some other people in a dynasty perspective. Maybe you can get him as one of your last picks or second to last picks, but don't be reaching for him. I mean, I'm not taking Tank Dell before round 12, round 13 in any sort of drafts. Yeah. Personally,
a couple just. By the way, trying to keep up with everyone in the chat. If you want us to answer something straight away, super chat's always an option for whatever amount. We'll get to it. We'll prioritize it. Otherwise, we'll do our best. But just looking at the board here, a couple things through almost 4 rounds. Firstly, the 3 quarterbacks start from Team 2 here. I'm not saying it's a wrong start. You can make an argument that a quarterback was the best value there. I'm just curious what the team build will look like. Secondly, Mark Andrews goes as the first tight end off the board, and then we see 3 tight ends and 4 picks. Thirdly, Jordan Love going at the 4-2. So has a very good preseason game. Looks good. The conversations are typically, sounding good out of camp, out of the team, players around them. I know there was one beat reporter who said something like, so not even a beat reporter. He makes content for the Packers, and he said something like, he's just not good at football. Like, that's how blanket statement.
He said that live, or he said it on Twitter?
Yeah, he said it live, like in a show. Like,
we
all know this. Jordan Love just isn't good at football. It's like, do we know that, dude? Like, why do you feel that way? And now he's getting roasted, of course, because Jordan Love had a good preseason. I will say that feels a little early to me. I like Jordan Love, but that's because in all my startups this year, I've gotten him in round 7, 8, 9, The 4-2 seems a little early. Love the JSN value at the 4-3. I think that's fantastic. Jonathan Taylor falling to the 3-11 is kind of crazy. So this whole board is looking pretty interesting, pretty intriguing, pretty spread out, and things are happening. By the way, shout out to the 61 people watching the stream. Do us a favor, if you want to be a friend, help grow the channel, hit that like button. With your help, I think we can get to 50 likes here if everyone hits the like button. The maths check out. But pretty crazy draft board so far, Badake.
Yeah, pretty crazy draft board. I mean, I'm going between two. I think it has to be Addison here. It was between Jerry and Addison right now.
Okay.
To be completely honest with you, I was looking at my rankings. Addison is higher, so I had to go with him there. Yeah, it was Jerry, so that makes sense. I'm liking the star so far. Do you think if Jordan Love has a top 15 type of season this year, going into next year's draft, because I'm thinking maybe this is where Team 11 is projecting where Jordan Love's going to be, Maybe he's a 4th round pick going into 2024. Because I see a world where that's happening.
Yeah, but it's also possible that doesn't happen. So that's a tough one to answer, no doubt. Who's on? Is Styles with me? Yeah, I gotta draft differently because Styles is in this draft. All right. Well, let's see.
6, 5, 4.
Oh, really?
3.
Okay.
2.
I'm not sure exactly who I would have taken there, but let's go Jahan. I'm trying to figure out what Styles is gonna do there, but only one quarterback, and he's got a tight end as well. So I think there's some other priorities out there. Let's see what happens. What falls back to me. Ken Walker at the 5'8", definitely surprising to see him fall that far, but makes sense with the concerns around his groin at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely good JSN value, absolutely. Love went out the 8-1 and $100 startup that MP did. That's awesome. Good value.
Nice.
Nice,
man.
Yeah. Just traded Desmond Ridder for George Pickens. Yeah, I think assuming that's Superflex, I think I prefer George Pickens there.
Yeah. I mean, he had a good preseason.
Yeah. Well, again, the Twitter warriors are going to be furious that he caught a touchdown without separation.
Kenny Pickett just looks smooth, though.
Does he?
I'm a big Kenny believer. So I'm really believing in that offense. Everyone to kind of eat there. So I'm excited for the Steelers offense and the Browns, to be honest. I mean, yeah.
See, I knew that would happen. That's unfortunate.
Trigger Trey there.
I knew that would happen.
DJ Moore at the 5'11" is great as well, actually.
Say again?
DJ Moore at the 5'11" is great, I think, there as well.
Yeah, I thought we might see the Fields DJ Moore stack. It was lining up there, but maybe he wanted it to fall to the 6. In a Dynasty league, definitely feels better at the 6 for DJ. Like the Ayuk pick. I'm going to grab Zay here. I'll grab Zay.
Nice.
Feeling good about this team. Again, we've been preaching it for multiple years. Build around your quarterbacks and wide receivers. Feeling good about how this is panning out so far. Debo at the 6-7, so just one pick, pretty much. I mean, 2 picks actually apart from where Ayuk goes.
See where I can go here. There goes Terry.
So about a round apart from Jahan Dotson. Good to see where that's currently sitting.
Yeah, I think I have to go running back here. I'm gonna go. This is tough. Going to me rankings, I want to go with situation right now. Let's go Miles.
Yeah.
Going to my rankings, I should go another running back, but.
Sebastian says, what happened to grading Dynasty teams? Was excited to get one of my teams graded. We are still grading Dynasty teams just after this mock draft. So I'm not sure, Sebastian, if you are the person on Discord whose team we're grading. But to all those people out there who want to have their Dynasty teams broken down by us, it's actually super simple. Tonight we are breaking down Guru Mitch's team. And you might ask yourself, why are you breaking his team down? Why is he so special? Well, he is someone who's supporting us over on the Flock Fantasy website. So if you want one of your Dynasty teams broken down right after this mock draft, then go ahead. Sorry, wrong link there. But sign up at flockfantasy.com/land. If you use our code, you'll get 30% off. Sign up to the Mother Flocker tier. DM us on Discord. And maybe we can look at your team tonight as well. If you want to have your team broken down by us, tell you what direction we would go, maybe some trades that we would make, where you sit in your league, your strengths, your weaknesses. So again, if you want to have that unlocked, then go ahead and sign up. And today we'll be looking at Guru Mitch's team after this mock draft has finished. So we see Miles Sanders. That's probably the earliest I've seen him go in Dynasty. I know you drafted him. Still like the pick, but I'm not saying it's a bad pick, but we haven't seen him go that early. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we haven't. I mean, it's been it's been 3-4 weeks since we did a Dynasty mock draft here. He would normally go around the 7th, 8th round, but I think, at least for my rankings, according to this, I'm supposed to be taking another running back. But once again, if I'm drafting today in a Dynasty startup, I'm not necessarily sure if I'm taking that running back over him at this moment because of the question marks coming out of that camp. But yeah, I like Miles Sanders here. It has a 4-year contract extension here. So I'm okay taking him at the 6-9.
Yeah. Josh says, Zach, are you down on JMO now? Taking Zay over him? No, not down on him. I mean, I'm still way ahead of where he is on in community rankings. Let me double check where community rankings currently have him.
I think it's still in the
so
30s,
he is ranked as a wide receiver 32 according to the community. He is ranked as my wide receiver 23. So I'm almost 10 spots higher than the community still. And if you guys don't know, our rankings are consistently being updated over on the Flock Fantasy website. So if you do want to see exactly where we stand, I try and update my rankings every 2 weeks. In season, obviously, it'll be more often, but if you do want to see my rankings, you'll be able to see them there. But yeah, no, still very high on Jameson Williams. Went Zay Flowers there, but if Zay Flowers was off the board, it would have been Jameson Williams as my pick. And the reason I did that was I was trying to play the board. Almost everyone that I talk to right now is out on Jameson Williams. Not me, but that's me trying to play the board and hoping that he would have potentially come back to me. I do that in a lot of leagues, a lot of real drafts. And if I don't end up getting a player I love, I'll explore a trade. But at the end of the day, if you do hit, and let's say a player that you love that no one else really likes falls, it feels so much better in your entire team build. But yeah, I put actually a tweet out about Jameson Williams not too long ago, because I feel like people are so wishy-washy on him. They're up, they're down, they're in, they're out. You're hot and you're cold. Shout out to Katy Perry. But yeah, I'm still very much in on him. I'll show you guys the tweet. But essentially, I said a lot of people going back and forth. You can see my ownership here. I own him in pretty much 70% of my leagues. And I feel like, I mean, most of those trades have happened this offseason where I feel like people devalue him, and I'm getting him really affordable. But yeah, still very much in. Still very much in.
Yeah, I'm okay with JMO as well. I'm very much in as well. I mean, I don't have as much stock as Zach, but definitely in the mix there.
Wow, I just realized Sam Howell went at the 7-12.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers went at the 7-8 as well. I mean, Team 11 has 3 quarterbacks. A nice little run of running backs at the 7. Russell Wilson, Purdy, Kenny, and Aaron Rodgers.
You know, I know I need a running back, but I'm going to keep building around the wide receiver position and take your beloved Elijah Moore in the 8th round. Welcome to the team.
That's what I had on my queue.
He'll end up being my last flex spot player if this was a real league. I mean, this is kind of how I build my teams, around quarterbacks, around wide receivers. There'll be a couple teams where I have a stud running back, but typically I'm trying to find, you know, needle in the haystack later on in drafts.
That's exactly where I was going to go, right there.
What's his injury looking like at the moment?
It's just a rib injury. I don't think anything too serious. Came back negative. I think it's fine.
Okay.
We haven't heard much about it. I was more concerned. I thought it was a lower leg injury at first, and I was like, that's not good. Because one of the first catches he made was like, you know, one of those sideline tackles where like they kind of drag you along the body. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't. I was a bit worried there, but I think he should be fine. Phenomenal work, and he gets so much work over there, Elijah Moore. So I'll get up.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I might have to go different position here. Did James go off the board? This is who I would go technically. So let's go James.
James Cook off the board. Quarterback's definitely worth flying off, no doubt. Interesting. Okay, Kincaid finally has his picture, so that's good to see. Sleeper finally giving him a photo. Looks cute with a little red hairband.
Yeah. Okay.
Not targeted in preseason debut. Did he play?
Who?
Kincaid.
I think he did.
Doesn't really matter. Like I said, don't need to overreact to anything.
Well, if he wasn't targeted in preseason debut, that means he did play. He just didn't get targeted. So that makes sense.
Fair enough. George Kittle at the 8-10. I like that pick.
Really
nice team
Dallas
here from Big
there.
Breakfast. Do we think Corey Davis is going to get cut from the Jets? I mean, I would say anything's a possibility, really, when you look at that team. Lazard's not getting cut. Hardman's not getting cut. They just signed those guys. Who else would be a cut candidate?
I can definitely see him getting cut. I mean,
either way wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. This all depends on what Aaron wants.
Yeah. As we are in the 9th round, shout out to the 60+ people watching the stream. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. Hope you've had a great day, great weekend as you're heading into your week. We're already in the future. We're in Monday here. It's 10:07 a.m. on a Monday. It's looking okay, so don't worry. Future looks all right. If you can be a friend, help us out. Hit the like button. Help us reach 50 likes. Currently 6 likes away from 50. With your help, I'm pretty confident that we can get there. As Aaron Jones goes off the board, much higher than we have, typically I've seen him when it comes to Dynasty startup throughout the offseason. He would not be hovering around the Cooks, the Rashad Whites. So you can tell we're getting closer to the season because now running backs become more valuable, That's typically what happens.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we definitely haven't seen him here at the 9-3.
I imagine. Okay, so the player I was going to pick at the 8-6, but I opted for Elijah Moore, was Alexander Madison. I'm in on Alexander Madison this year. I think he's going to be great. In fact, on our redraft channel, there's a video about Alexander Madison coming out on. It'll be in your morning. Alexander Madison video. So I'm excited for you guys to see that. It's not just Madison. It's 4 running backs that I am drafting in all my redraft leagues. Big fan of his price at the moment. And I'm actually genuinely shocked he fell this far. What does that make him off the board? I mean, if Sleeper ever watches our streams, probably not, but it would be awesome to have like an indicator of what position you were off the board. But let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
He's pretty, I would say he's like nearly 30 maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit excessive.
RB 28 off the board. Quite surprising.
30. There you go.
Where is he in the community rankings then? I mean, people have just completely fallen off of him. Let's see. Right now, he is RB 28 in community rankings. Okay. I mean, we were like, what, a month or two away from him being RB 18 in Dynasty? Is that right?
He was like a top 20. I felt like at one point he was top 15. Like, I just think it was a massive overreaction, and people are now... I don't know if they're realizing or maybe believing that this team could end up being either a massive committee or bringing in somebody else, like a Kareem, a Lenny, a Zeke.
Right, yeah, and like I've said this before, but I feel like they need that. Even as someone who likes Alexander Mattison, I truly think they need another running back in that backfield. We'll see if they end up going that route, but I definitely get what people are saying. I think now he becomes a big value, in my personal opinion, being ranked that low, but I know everyone sees it a little bit differently. I mean, Dalvin Cook's still on the board. Super interesting to see. Everyone is loving D-Hop in redraft, but no one's drafting him in Dynasty. I guess, he's 31 years old. Maybe that's the reason.
Aaron Robinson there.
B-Rob off the board.
I have a couple people.
Simon says, thoughts on drafting a third round reversal? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people ask us about that. I mean, and our reply is always, if you guys want to do it, do it. There's not a wrong way to play Dynasty. I mean, if you prefer playing tight end premium, play tight end premium. If you prefer third round reversal, if you prefer half PPR, there's not a wrong way to really go about playing Dynasty. Whatever your heart desires is what we would say. It's definitely a way to even it out a little bit. So if that's how you prefer, then go crazy with it, you know. We're in leagues where we've done that, where we haven't. So
on this guy there.
I just realized that Kadarius Toney's picture on Sleeper looks like this. That's hilarious.
This looks terrible.
I love it. All right, will we go wide receiver here?
One is Sky right there. That's frustrating.
Running back, Alvin Kamara. Oh, we might just grab Alvin here then. Almost got auto-picked.
Almost.
So my starting running backs will be Alexander Mattison and Alvin Kamara.
Okay, well, looks like we gotta continue to go there. Mikey will.
Tony looking like the gremlin. Yeah. It's a beautiful picture. Just beautiful from Tony. Oh my gosh. Mike Williams off the board. What are you thinking here?
I want a wide receiver, but just feel like honestly don't know where to go. I think I'm gonna go tight end here.
Ironic, thank you for the super chat, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
He says 12 team Superflex, start 9, trade the 109. I'm guessing this is actually a startup picks because he's saying the 109 is Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence
for a third, fourth, fifth, and a 24 first. So you are saying essentially, Byronic, that this is a Superflex startup draft, and you are being offered a third round pick, a fourth, a fifth in the startup, not future picks, and a future first round pick for Trevor Lawrence. And I would probably do that. I mean, if you think about it this way, you're getting, let's say, potentially Mark Andrews. You're getting Jackson Smith and Jigba, and let's say Jordan Addison, as well as a first-round pick for Jared Goff. For Trevor Lawrence. And yes, you miss out on Trevor Lawrence, but maybe you can get a Brock Purdy later on, or maybe you can use one of those picks to grab a Daniel Jones, for example, or see how the board falls. But if that's the context, I think I would be open to doing that. That's a pretty decent offer. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and a 24 first. In a startup, those are very valuable picks.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it also depends on not where, but just give me a second as I make my pick here.
Okay, I'm just reading. He says, I also have to include my 8th and 9th. Then no. No. I wouldn't do it in that scenario then, Byronic. The way the question originally was posed, I thought you were only sending the 109. But look, in the 8th and 9th round, you can still find good values. I mean, I found Elijah Moore there. People are getting Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, Deontay Johnson, Christian Kirk, Rashad White, Zach Charbonnet. So I got Alexander Madison in the 9th round, right? I mean, so if the question was you're only sending the 109, then I would be in. But with the extra context that you also have to send your 8th and 9th, personally, no, I'd be out if that's the full context.
Yeah, I mean, 8th and 9th, I guess it just depends on who's there, and that's hard to really evaluate, especially we don't know how that board's going to fall for your league. So every league is different. Obviously, every mock is different. Because there's going to be people that you hope and wish that is going to fall to the 8th, 9th round that you're probably seeing in this mock draft, or the people in your league that and this just didn't go that way. So I would agree there as well. If it's just the 109, I'm happy, but yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
Maybe do it for later
because
maybe,
that's the kind of
like maybe do like the 9th and 10th or 10th and 11th. I mean,
I wouldn't do that. I mean, that's the kind of trade that I would make because I feel very confident in how I can draft and the players that I'll find. But yeah, I wouldn't do it personally. But it says it's your first super chat, so just want to say again, thank you for the super chat, Byronic. Hopefully that's helpful information.
Can we heart that? Oh yeah, we can.
Heart it? What does that even mean?
It's just like, I don't know. Do you see a little heart on the right, to the right of the next to the 1?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I am the 1. Yeah, give you a little heart. But hopefully that's helpful. Only 1 like away from our like goal of 50. Well, it's not our like goal, but just from 50 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, do us a favor. Hit the like button. Help us grow the channel together.
That's right.
Rashawn Johnson and Michael Wilson go off the board. I know Styles asking about Rashawn. Do you think he can take over the Bears' backfield? Yes, I do think he can. I believe he is the most talented running back there. But I still think that other running backs will play a part this year. And one of those is still on the board, so I don't want to say his name too loudly. But I think after he got the extension, I felt much, much more comfortable with Evan Ingram, and he's still on the board here in the 12th round. So I'll grab Evan there. Get a little free stack with Trevor Lawrence and Ev. I'm liking this team right now, man. Really vibing it. See what J-Mo does.
Yeah.
Cortland off the board. He's definitely, Sutton is definitely a value in redraft leagues, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. Got some work yesterday. Or yesterday, was it yesterday? The day before yesterday with Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And the Broncos, man.
They figured it out in the end, but it was looking rough.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Didn't look too hot in the first half there. Second or third drive looked significantly better.
I don't know if you saw what I tweeted out about it, but I think I said, when the Sean Payton-led Broncos look like the Nathaniel Hackett-led Broncos versus the Cardinals in preseason. because that's exactly what it looks like. I think we're all like, oh no, is it any different? You know, but that's also an overreaction in its own right. Khalil Herbert, bro, what a value at the 12-12. If I didn't need tight end, that would have been an easy pick.
There you go.
Well done. Really well done. I like the pick a lot.
I like it a
Kobe
lot.
Myers. This is obviously our last picks, and then we will, or maybe there's one more round, and then we'll do some Dynasty team grades. OBJ goes off the board. Ooh, there's a player I like here. I know I need some more running backs, but give me Tank Dell at the 13-7. I think he probably is deserving of going at least a round earlier, if not more. Would you agree?
Overreaction in itself. No, I'm not messing with you. Yeah, like I said, I'm happy to take Tank. That was one of the last picks of my draft for sure. I mean, like before he was going undrafted. Now I think he's worthy of a last round pick. Especially with that performance. So I'm okay. I'm okay taking him there.
Would you go Tank Dell or John Mechie at this point in Dynasty? Tough question, right?
I would have to, I think I would have to go. I mean, I drafted John Mechie. I'm taking him because what was he?
Oh, you just sorry, I didn't even realize that you drafted John Mechie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking him just because of his draft capital overall. I mean, not too big of a difference here, second versus third. But I still believe in John Mechie and how he can be utilized in this offense. It was just unfortunate we saw him sick last year. So
yeah, the good thing is that there is no established wide receiver, so
yeah,
everyone has a chance to thrive. Yeah, for sure. Chigakonko off the board, Alec Pierce off the board. Yeah, really like this team. I mean, if this was a real draft, I'd feel very good about the running backs that fell to me and about the quarterbacks and wide receivers. I feel comfortable building with long term.
Yeah, love it.
How far off are George Pickens and Dalton Kincaid in value in a Dynasty Superflex tight end premium? I don't think they're that far off. I think you would prefer Kincaid in Dynasty, but they're not. Actually, to be honest, like right now, I have Kittle ahead.
I have Dalton over George.
Yeah, I have Kittle ahead of Kincaid at the moment. I'm gonna grab Jamal Williams, who will be the starting running back for that team for 3 weeks. Yeah, at the moment I have Kittle ahead, and that's just because of how I typically don't go crazy with rookie tight ends myself. There's a chance that Kincaid's an outlier and he just goes absolutely bonkers, you know, in his rookie season. But I feel like it's more likely with him already being valued as a first-round pick in rookie drafts that his value doesn't rise. I'm not saying it will drop tremendously, but I'm not sure that it'll be more difficult to trade for Kincaid this time next year rather than right now. I have wrote an article about rookie tight ends in case you guys are interested, which let me refresh this page so I can search for my name. Okay, right now the search feature is not working. We'll have to ask the developers about that. But anyway, overall, I just don't bet on rookie tight ends too much. I know Kincaid could be the exception. He could be the outlier. Definitely possible. But yeah, I think at this very moment, I would go George Kittle. And again, with the mindset of playing Dynasty in the span of a 3-year mindset. I think if you're playing in the span of like a 10-year mindset, you're just being unrealistic with yourself. And you're probably
the article link.
You're probably just burning through buy-ins, you know. But yeah, this is the article that I wrote. It's called Lower Expectations for Rookie Tight Ends. You guys can go read it on the website if you want. If you have a membership with us, then you know you'll be able to access this article. Otherwise, maybe not. But the one thing I'll look at is first-round tight ends in the last decade. Their average finish in fantasy football, their rookie season, is a tight end 25. In fact, top 20 rookie seasons only 33% of first-round tight ends have had a top 20 rookie season. So again, Kincaid could be the mold breaker. He could be the one who stands out because of the offense that he's in, because of the opportunity in front of him, the weak depth chart, his potential role in the slot. But playing Dynasty in the span of 3 years, I feel really good about what Purdy means for George Kittle, especially what he did for him last year. So I would go Kittle myself. But look, if you're rebuilding, you probably do go Kincaid. I just think Kincaid's price is... It's tough to see his price getting much more expensive this time next year, in my opinion, right? That's what I'm looking at. So if you're trying to win your Dynasty League, I would say Kincaid. Or sorry, Kittle.
Kittle. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm going Kincaid over Kittle. I'm okay to build and wait for the progression there as Dalton Kincaid. I mean, I guess kind of the same. Well, it's not really the same, but I guess you can kind of say it's kind of similar with Kyle Pitts going at the 310, still being a top four draft pick in his rookie season. I coming into the league, but he was a freak athlete, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so we will be grading a Dynasty team now. Big shout out to Guru Mitch, whose team we are breaking down right here, right now. And you might be out there and you might be saying, wait, why does Mitch get his team broken down? Why can't I get my team broken down? Well, you can get your Dynasty team broken down. It's actually super simple. All you need to do is sign up to the Flock Fantasy website with our promo code LAND. Choose the Mother Flocker tier, then DM us. Show us that you've supported us over on the website, that you've purchased it. And not only will you get a Dynasty team breakdown, you also get to be in our Dynasty Trades weekly show. You'll get the Fantasy Hotline unlocked, which is a direct DM to us for advice. You'll get the entire Discord role unlocked for yourself, as well as some other perks. So, Mitch, I'm just going to tag him now. I don't know if he's in the live stream, but if he is, we are grading your team now. Okay, so yeah, he says Mitch here. Okay, awesome.
Okay, nice. Sick.
Awesome. So let's look at the team. It's a 12-team PPR 1 quarterback tight end premium league, start 9, and it also has defense and kickers. Moved around a lot in the startup. I know I'm weak at tight end, but I believe in Dulcich and went 0 RB strat. I think I'm in a house money team. I think I'm a house money team if my backs hit. I've got my own first and 4 seconds next year. Let me know what you guys think. League ID. Okay, so we will grab this league ID. Mayfair Tough Guys is his name. We'll enter that into the power rankings over on Keep Trade Cut. So firstly, when you look at players only, they have you ranked as the first overall team. When you look at players and picks, they still have you ranked as the first overall team. But let's look at...
It really depends.
But let's look at the team here. So, again, keep in mind this is a 1 quarterback league. This is not a Superflex league. You have Anthony Richardson and Russell Wilson. I think that's a great pairing. Russell Wilson, a veteran quarterback who is really affordable right now. You could start until Anthony Richardson's ready. Meanwhile, Anthony Richardson, he could have a terrible rookie season and still be good for fantasy. That's what's great about Anthony Richardson. He could struggle. He could complete 55% of his passes. He could throw a bunch of interceptions, and he still could be a great fantasy quarterback. So just at the quarterback position alone, I think this should be how you're going into the season. I wouldn't force a move in this quarterback spot. Anything that you want to say about the quarterbacks before we move on?
No, completely agree. You know, I'm a massive advocate for Russell Wilson and believing in what he can do coming into this year. If there was something that I would say you should do, because this is super flex, no, 1 quarterback, say less. Forget what I said. So yeah, 1 quarterback, Russell Wilson, Anthony Richardson, phenomenal.
Okay. On to the running backs. Like you mentioned, not your strongest room whatsoever. Things could pan your way, but Zach Charbonnet, Kendre Miller, Devon Achane, Rashawn Johnson, Jerome Ford, Deneric Prince, Keontae Ingram. I think you did a really good job of drafting, because like you said, in your startups, you didn't prioritize your running backs. So to get that group, I still feel good about it. Zach Charbonnet is a league winner if Ken Walker has a serious injury. I personally still love Kendre Miller long term. I think he's a future at the running back position for that team. Might not be instant year one, but he's an injury or two away from being the guy there. Devon A-Chain, I've been a Devon guy from day one. And I always said his perfect landing spot would be the Dolphins. He lands with the Dolphins. You saw even in preseason, which I know we can't really take much from, but even in preseason, where did his value come? Through the air. I've always said he's one of the most underrated pass catchers in this draft. I'm a big fan of him, and it looks like you got him pretty cheap. Rashawn Johnson, also another running back who could lead his backfield. Jerome Ford, I know he's injured, but he's an injury away from stepping into a serious role. So while it's clearly your weakest point, I like the running backs that you have there. Now, I prefer them to be my RB like 3 or 4, right? But still, I think you did well given the context of your startup.
Yeah. When it comes down to the running backs, for me, I'm not a massive believer in Devon or Kendre, and especially now with Kendre being injured and whatever that looks like. But it's all going to fall on your running backs. If you are really trying to compete this year and win it all, I would personally say you need to go out and get some more running backs. And maybe that's a question. Do you want to go out and win it all right now? I think you may be a piece or two away, because I believe in Greg. I believe in the tight end position. I know you kind of alluded that in your context there. But yeah, for me, if Ken, like, it can easily go the opposite way. Yeah, every single one of these guys are injury away from being the starter, but if they're not, and if their team or whoever's in front of them doesn't necessarily get injured, or is just having a phenomenal season, it's like, damn, I wish I had somebody else, right? So I guess there's a question for you here, Mitch. Right? Do you want to go win it out all this year? Because if that's the case, then I would really encourage to make other moves. But if not, then I'm happy for you to keep your running backs and let them develop.
Yeah, and I just think, like, that was his strategy going in. So, like, I think he knows that they're not necessarily like league winners at this very moment, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You look at the wide receiver room. That's why the wide receiver room is so strong. You've got Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, T. Higgins, Jordan Addison, Brandon Ayuk, Treylon Burks, Marvin Mims. I mean, to be honest, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, T. Higgins, 3 top 12. I would prefer to build around my wide receivers. That's why your running back room is so weak. Obviously, and then you have Addison, who, I mean, he could be top 15 by the end of the year. Ayuk, who is undervalued. Treylon Burks, who is massively undervalued. I'm glad that you got him. I'm curious, can you tell me what pick you spent on Treylon Burks? I'd be very, very curious to see what sort of capital you spent in your startup. But yeah, this is a fantastic wide receiver room. As you mentioned, you sacrifice your running backs, which we know aren't very strong, but your quarterback and your wide receiver rooms are very, very strong, which is what I would prefer to build around. In a one quarterback, maybe I would spend a little more attention to my running backs, but still the wide receiver room is very, very strong. I like that. You said Burks went at the 8-10. That's awesome. I mean, and that's in a one quarterback league. In a Superflex league, he would have gone even later. He would have easily been like a 9th, 10th round pick. So to get Burks at the 8-10, I think that's an incredible value. But these are all young wide receivers that I want to build around.
Yeah, I love every single one of them. So
I'm curious if he mentioned it's start 9. So I assume that
it's 5. It's 5 wide receivers. So if you go to starters, you can see he has to start 5 wide receivers. So Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, T. Higgins, Jordan Addison, Brandon Ayuk currently projected to be the starters for him going into week 1 at the moment.
Sure, yeah. So I feel pretty fine with that, to be honest, when you look at the starters only. But LT Gray, Justin Ross. I knew you'd be happy with that, LT Gray.
Yeah.
I mean, 3rd quarter of the preseason, week 1. I mean, I'm happy for Justin Ross. I am. As a Chiefs fan, I'm happy for him. I still have no expectations, but he's definitely going to make the team, no doubt. Okay, but then we go to the tight end spot. I like the tight ends that you have. Greg Dulcich, we've talked about him being undervalued. So I'm a big fan of Greg Dulcich there. Trey McBride, Irv Smith. You have a lot of potential I wouldn't say you have any sort of solidified starter, but you have a lot of potential. Dennis says Justin Ross actually went at the 902 right after Perks. That is crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. I bet you took him too.
Let's see what the
hype.
hype.
Oh no, sorry. Never mind. I thought that was ST Gray.
No. Let's see where the hype dies. But I think the reason your team is ranked this high is because your quarterback, your wide receiver spot is so strong. But then also you have a lot of draft capital. You have your own first, but then you also have, as you mentioned, 3 second-round picks in 2024. So that's going to give you a lot of leverage. Whether, like, here's how I would play it out, Badake, personally. Like, if it was me, I would run this team and see where I am by week 6, for example. If I'm like, 4-2, okay, what's a move I can maybe make and go out and get, let's say, a James Conner on the cheap, or a Joe Mixon on the cheap, or, enter veteran running back whose future is very much in question, right? Enter that player. Can I add them and really go on a run? Because you don't know if at week 6, I'm saying worst case scenario, what if Wilson and Olave are both injured? Yeah. And, you're at that point 1-5. Probably not worth going out and trading for James Conner, which right now, if Badake and I were to tell you what running backs to go out, I imagine you and I would probably say a lot of veteran running backs, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because you can go out, send a third out for those guys and be in contention to win the ship with those running backs. The only rebuttal I would have there is that what happens if someone like James Conner, who was valued as a 3rd-round pick, Aaron Jones valued as a 3rd-round pick, as a top 10 running back in the first 6 weeks, like, that is also the downfall. So you either take the risk and believe that your team is going to be competing right now with those guys and try and get James Conner, Aaron Jones, once again, get these veteran running backs now at a lower price, or you take that risk of having to pay the premium knowing that your team is in contention to go all the way. So that's another risk that you are going to have to be evaluating there.
That's definitely a good point. I would just say I feel like there's always going to be a veteran running back value. Maybe it's not James Conner, but think about last year. People were sending like a 3rd-round pick for Jet McKinnon. Jet McKinnon won people leagues, Enter the injured running backs replacement. Is Javonte Williams gone down and Samaje Perine now a really good value? You know what I mean? Like, that's how I would approach it myself. I guess let me leave it in your hands then. Like, my approach would be run this team till about week 6, see where you stand, and then go out and acquire a running back if you think you can truly win it. Would you approach it a different way then?
I think my approach is, and this is why I asked to Mitch or Dennis earlier, was like, if you really believe you are 1 or 2 pieces away from taking it all the way, go get those 2 pieces right now, because that's what I would do. I think he can compete, because I know his question was that he's not too confident in his tight end position.
Okay.
Which I think we both agree. I'm pretty confident in Greg. If that doesn't work out, you have Daniel Bellinger, who's also going to be in hopefully some sort of rotation.
Why did you say Daniel Bellinger before Trey McBride and Irv Smith?
That's it. It says and or Trey McBride. Or
like, why were you saying tight end 4?
I'm just thinking, like, you have options here. So, like, if you truly believe that, then just go on and try it now. I mean, what's a 3rd-round pick for James Conner right now? And if he does pop off, maybe you can sell him for even higher. I think try and go out now. Try and go out and win now. That's what I would say.
Okay. So what are some names that you would suggest he trade for then?
Well, I think those are the names that we mentioned. Aaron Jones, James Conner. Can you get the Samaje Perine? Can you get someone, like an Alvin and Alvin Kamara right now, who I really believe, I think it's a bit difficult to get him now because of this Kendre Miller situation. If he's going to be out for a long time, that's really difficult now. That was somebody I would easily say go out and get. If you really want to use a second, I don't think you should use any more than a 3rd. So I think at the moment, James Conner, Alvin Kamara was valued at a 3rd, I'm pretty sure. Samaje Perine, Aaron Jones. What about someone like an Isaiah Pacheco? maybe. I don't know if he's value as a third for you, for your eyes. What if you can get Brian Robinson or Antonio Gibson? I would say Antonio Gibson there. Um, just a handful of guys that I would do.
I think the issue there is you maybe get those guys in a super flex league for those prices. In a one quarterback league, there's no chance someone is gonna send you those players for a third, you know?
Yeah, one quarterback. Hey, so then you might as well go. If that's truly the case, you might as well send a second and then get somebody that you feel a lot more comfortable with that you can pair for another year or two. Can you get a Rashad White for a second in a one quarterback?
Right.
Can you go out and get
I'm not sure if the chat heard you there. My mic disconnected. Did the chat hear Badake? After you said Rashad White? I don't know. Go ahead. After Rashad White, what were you gonna say? Hold on. Right now, I'm watching, and they definitely can't hear you right now. Okay, try again for me.
Hello?
Okay, yeah, you're back.
Thank you so much for the sub there, A Woods. I saw that kind of pop up. We appreciate you. But yeah, I said Rashad White. Can you go out and get, a Cam Akers if you believe in someone like a Cam Akers? What about an Alexander Madison? His value is starting to drop right now. Is he still worth a first? Getting some of those people along those names, I think I'm willing to send a second, pay a premium. What about a Joe Mixon? I don't think Joe Mixon's worth a first and a one quarterback. I don't think he
That's
would
unfortunate. I think the price you might have to pay though.
Yeah. So look, in a one quarterback's a little bit different, but if you can get any of those guys that I mentioned for no more than a second, I'm willing to take that chance and go all in on and winning right now. But I think this team is decent. I think you could definitely go out and compete for sure. It's just the running back room is in question.
Yeah.
But how about this? How about you wait right before the season starts? Zach Charbonnet, Kendre Miller, still going to be out for another 4 or 5 weeks. Just go out and pay a price for one. Don't get both. Try and find the cheapest veteran running back that you can possibly get, and just ride with Zach Charbonnet and that RB2, whoever you acquire, and see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, the worst thing you did was spend a 3rd round pick.
Yeah. So two approaches that you could take. Like Badake said, go out and get, he's suggesting go out and get a veteran. My suggestion would be to run this team until about week 6 and see what sort of veterans are available on the market. So either way, I think you're sitting in a great spot. I mean, if I was to grade this team, I would probably give it a strong B+. The way you get to an A is, using, I think, these picks either this year or next year to really solidify your running back room. I personally feel pretty comfortable with Greg Dulcich moving forward and Trey McBride. So we'll find out if they meet our expectations this year, but I would give you a strong B+. I mean, if we're grading your positions, I would say your quarterbacks, I would probably put an A- right now. Wide receivers, A+. Running backs, probably, I would say a strong C-. And then tight ends, I would put probably a C+. But you're looking good. Overall, B+. Your strengths are very strong and your weaknesses are very obvious, so I think they're easy to address if need be.
Yeah, agreed.
A Wood says, been binging Dynasty content lately, watched 10 of your videos in the last 24 hours. Love to see that.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the sub, man. Thanks for watching. And if there is anyone out there who does want this experience, you want us to break down one of your Dynasty teams on a live stream, if you want a direct DM to us for advice where you can ask us questions, let's say a trade offer comes in, hey, what do you guys think about this? We'll give you some feedback. If you want access to our Dynasty Trade Show, which happens every single week, if you want to unlock the entire Discord, get your role with us in our community, then go ahead and use our code LAND and sign up to the Mother Flocker tier on the Flock Fantasy website. Again, use that code LAND. And not only will you unlock everything that I just mentioned, you'll also unlock our rankings for Dynasty Superflex, One Quarterback, Best Ball 2023 rankings. You can see the average of all the creators on the site, because it's not only us on there, it's Mason, it's the guys from Stock Exchange, it's the guys from Domain, In-Game. You can see where the expert ranks, or you can add our individual rankings if you'd like to see. We have, like, if you're in Dynasty and let's say you want to build a team that's super young, you only want to look at players in your startup that are under the age of, let's say, 26 years old. Well, why don't we take this slider here, drop it all the way down to 25, let's say, and now you can see how my rankings look with players under the age of 25. Just as an example, if you want rankings, if you want databases, if you want bonus videos, draft guides, not from us, but well, yeah, from us, but from everyone in the community, again, use that code to land when signing up for 30% off. That Motherflocker tier will get you a Dynasty team grade. Outside of that, thanks for joining, guys. Last thing I'll say is we will be live like 4 days in a row over on the Redraft channel starting tomorrow. So if you want to hang out with us, we'll be live doing redraft mock drafts. So come hang out over there. Outside of that, anything I'm missing?
No, all love. We appreciate you. And go show love on the Redraft channel, like Zach said. Bunch of great content over there, and we will be live. So love.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon. DM us if you sign up, and we'll be happy to get you all set up. Enjoy the rest of your night.